Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Juliet. Today's video is going to be a huge pregnancy update. I have, how many weeks do I have to catch up on? Weeks 15 through 20. I just turned 20 weeks 4 days ago. I turn a week every Tuesday, and this is my second pregnancy. We are expecting another one in August, mid-August time frame. If you see me kind of looking over, I have my notes here. Let's go ahead and get into the video. If you're new here, I would love for you to subscribe, hit that like button, leave a comment, ask a question, whatever you want to do. It just helps out this channel where you engage and we can actually engage together. So yes, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. All right, let's go ahead and get into the video. Week 15, a lot more happened in week 15 than in the prior weeks and the continuing weeks. I feel like now that I'm in the second trimester, I'm getting more symptoms, if you want to call them that. I just feel like a lot more is happening. Not a lot, but just more than what was happening in the first trimester. Week 15, I have a hard time eating meat because it would hurt my stomach afterwards for this particular week. I just found that even the meat that we raised, like we raised pigs last fall, so we have half a pig in our freezer, and even when I would eat that, it would hurt my stomach. We get beef from a local place around here, and it doesn't have any additives or anything like that. It's really great meat, and that would still hurt my stomach. It was weird, but it wasn't every single time. It would just be every once in a while, if you know what I mean. My boobs are getting super sore this week. I noticed that I was having some swollen gums around the molars in the back. I was having a lot of back pain. I wasn't having a lot of back pain, but just at the end of the day. And it kind of goes hand in hand with, I was tired, but I wasn't exhausted. I was really tired at the end of the day, just from normal tiredness, you know, after working, after taking care of Eleanor, doing her routine, lifting her up, picking her up, always having her on my hip in the evening because that's kind of like her cleaning time because she hasn't seen me all day. It would just cause me some back aches. And the pregnancy brain and mom brain was a lot this week, and it has been a lot. Like today I got a new memory card, and every time I would put it in my camera, it kept saying it needs to be formatted. Try to format it and nothing. I was like, this is really taking me off. And I didn't have the little micro SD in the what's it called, the bigger one. I don't know the name of it. So finally Josh looked at it and he's like, yeah, it needs to go inside. I was like, oh, so just pregnancy brain. Week 16, I was having a lot of heartburn. It was when it was starting. I can't say it was a lot. I just felt the sensation and starting to have a little bit of heartburn. It wasn't with any particular food that I was eating, but I would notice that sometimes at the end of the day when I was laying down right after dinner, if I didn't sit up straight for long enough, it would cause me some discomfort. Or if I had a lot of water prior to eating, it would just cause me a little bit of heartburn. Since then, I've had a lot more, but it's not nearly as painful as it was with Eleanor. I feel like with Eleanor, everything was just intensified, whereas with this pregnancy, it's so minimal. It's so laid back. I don't know if it's because I'm not really thinking about it, because again, I'm taking care of a 17-month-old, working full time, trying to get YouTube up and running, and that project, it's just, I don't know. And the only reason why I keep referring back to Eleanor's because I only have that pregnancy to refer back to. So that was it for week 16. Week 17, not much from here on out. I was having a lot of round ligament pain this week, and it was so excruciating. I have a very high pain tolerance. I gave birth all natural, no pain medication, no epidural, nothing. And this was so painful, but it wasn't under my belly or in my back or anywhere else. It was only on my left side of my groin. And I really thought I had pulled a muscle or I tore something because I moved around. I couldn't figure it out. and I would have to be very cautious of how I would walk and how I would move, and especially picking up Eleanor and carrying her on my hip and doing tasks around the house. I would have to be very mindful of how I would move, because it seemed like one wrong thing and it would just flare up and cause me so much pain. And I finally looked it up, and it was round ligament pain. I didn't know I could get round ligament pain in my groin area because the last time I had it under my belly, but it was further towards the end of the second trimester and quite a bit into the third trimester. And I had continued Braxton Hicks. Oh, I had Braxton Hicks starting this week. I had a little bit starting in week 14, but nothing major. I think it might have been like one Braxton Hicks contraction. And then during 17 and all the way up until now, I've had continued Braxton Hicks contractions. I had them very early on with Eleanor, and I think that's why I had her early and so quickly, because my uterus had been basically having practiced contractions since week 14. But it's really nothing. A lot of the times it happens if I don't drink enough water. So what I will do is I will just chug a whole bunch of water, and then I'll remember to continue drinking water for the rest of the day, and that tends to stop them. That was it for week 17. Week 18, this is when I started noticing kicks more intensely, and this is when I had the thought of I probably have an anterior placenta, because if you watched any of my other videos, I had said that I could feel them starting week 14-ish, but they weren't very strong. And it continued like that all the way up until, week 18, when I had the thought of I have an anterior placenta, because they still felt like little flutters. They weren't jabs like they were with Eleanor, and like I know that they ought to be. So kind of just reading up online of what it feels like if you do have an anterior placenta. I knew, okay, I do. I was waking up throughout the night while moving around during this week, so sleeping was becoming a little bit more difficult, and it has become more difficult in terms of actually sleeping through the night and having a really restful night's sleep, because every time I do move, I wake up. And I do have a pregnancy pillow. I highly suggest, if you are pregnant, get yourself a pregnancy pillow, because it is life-changing. It's amazing. It has so much support for when you're sleeping, because if you are laying on your side, which you have to once you hit a certain point in your pregnancy, you can't lay on your back because you have an artery in your back, and it could cut off the blood flow. Your belly just hangs when you're laying on the side, and it stretches to get even more, and it's just really even more uncomfortable. So what I do is I kind of prop my belly up on the pillow. I have a U-shaped pillow. It's currently under all of my bedding because I'm washing my sheets today. Otherwise I would show you. It's a U-shaped pillow. It's ginormous. It takes up half of the bed, but I love it because I'm also able to have it in between my legs so I don't get any like cramps or my knees aren't touching, anything like that. Week 19. This is the week that it starts becoming really uncomfortable to sit in chairs for long periods of time, especially at work. And thankfully I do have an exercise ball at work that I'm able to alternate between the exercise ball and the my office chair. But this week is when I started to notice that my belly is getting bigger and it's just very uncomfortable to sit. I need to lay down at night, like right away. As soon as Eleanor is in bed and asleep, I am either in bed, laying down, doing what work I need to do, or I'm on the couch just relaxing because I've been sitting all day. I've been walking around, taking breaks, and I just need to lay down. And this is the week I started to notice a little bit of stretch marks coming back. You can't really see them unless you're looking up close because they're still white. They're not the dark ones. But I think there's just the stretch marks that I got with Eleanor that are kind of coming back because they went away as I would put breast milk on them every time I would nurse Eleanor, and they just kind of faded, but they're coming back now. I haven't noticed my dark line on my belly like I did with Eleanor, but I will probably notice it come later on in the summer when I'm outside at the pool and stuff and in the sun, and then later on in the third trimester. And lastly, week 20. This one, oh gosh. This is the week we had our doctor's appointment, and I gave you guys an update in my last video, so I won't dive into it in this video. I'll just go over the basics. She did confirm that I do have a, well, she's like 99% sure I do have an anterior placenta based on my descriptions of how I was feeling, the movements and stuff. She said that we'll definitely get confirmation and we'll go from there at my 20-week anatomy scan, which is actually this Wednesday. This video will be up prior to that, so the next video will be about that. Excuse me, about the anatomy scan. But she said baby is looking or sounding good. I didn't do a portable ultrasound, but baby sounds good. Everything is going well with me. No complications, no updates, really nothing. Like, very normal, and that's the word that you really want to hear throughout your pregnancy is normal. This week I started to notice, and I still have it, a metallic taste in my mouth and excess saliva, which is very weird because I didn't have it with Eleanor. I had like no weird tastes and I didn't have any excess saliva. So it was really weird. Even when I drink water to get that taste out of my mouth, it's still there. After brushing my teeth, it's still there. It's so bizarre, and I don't know how to describe it other than you have excess saliva that I'm spitting out, not constantly, but like if I go to the bathroom, I'll spit it out in the sink. Or if I'm walking outside, I'll spit. And then also this week, I am becoming more aware of my mental state and my emotions, which is really good because first time around I wasn't. I'm not an emotional person to begin with. I don't like acknowledging my emotions. I don't like coming to terms with them. Anything like that, that's not me. I'm a very illogical person, black and white, don't like dealing with emotions. So I had a very hard time during my pregnancy, and then afterwards, very, very, very difficult time. And I definitely should have gotten help for it, talk to someone, but I didn't. And when I finally kind of had the thought of, I think I have postpartum anxiety, COVID had happened and I wasn't able to get into a therapist, counselor, psychologist that specializes in postpartum anxiety and postpartum depression. Aside from that, I'm becoming more aware of my mental state. Josh and I will do like little mental checkups with each other, especially him with me. He asks like, where are you at mentally right now? And we probably do this once a week. And I tell him, like last night he asked me and I said, you know, I am realizing that little things are really angering me. They really set me off, things that normally don't bother me at all. Like the dog getting in my way, or seeing that her high chair still has food on it from the previous meal, and Josh is out working or wherever he's gone, he's not there with me, and I have Eleanor crying because she wants to eat and she doesn't want to be put down, and I have to carry her high chair to the kitchen and clean it. Stuff like that just like really angers me. And of course I have Eleanor with me as it's happening. It always seems like she's with me when these things like trigger me, and I don't want to have a negative reaction around her, and I don't want to say something that I will regret. Even though she's only 1.5, she's still at such like a sponge stage that I don't want her to repeat it or to hear it. So I'm just working through that, and I told them all this last night. So I'm working through that, trying to figure out what can I do to eliminate the triggers or the things that just set me off. So working through that, coming to terms with I will probably have postpartum anxiety, postpartum depression again after this baby. So just mentally preparing myself for that and being aware of the signs. Because Josh thinks I had postpartum depression after Eleanor, and last year was all a blur. Her first year of life is a huge blur to me, mainly because I definitely know I had anxiety, and I probably most likely did have depression. So not getting the help, it was not helpful. And I didn't want to listen to him. And now I'm like, all right, I need to put my pride aside, and it's just getting prepared for that. You know what I mean? It's really scary, and it's hard to describe it unless you've been through it. And I've been researching a whole bunch of different doctors that focus on mental health during postpartum and during pregnancy, because it's a whole different ballgame when you're talking about pregnancy and your mental health, because it's not cookie cutter. With anything like mental health, it's not cookie cutter, but especially with pregnancy, your hormones are literally all over the place. And then after pregnancy, it's a huge drop. Like as soon as that baby comes out of you, it is such a huge drop. And I remember my nurse continuously coming in. She's like, how are you feeling right now? Where are you at mentally? As soon as Eleanor was born, because it is that intense and that sudden that your mental health can just take a huge decline. And some women don't connect with their babies right away. Some do. Yeah. So that is what I have been working through this week, and what actually, I can't say me, what Josh and I have been working through this week, and just continuously talking about it and continuously looking for different healthcare providers out there that take a more natural approach to addressing your mental health after postpartum, because that's the direction I want to go, and I don't want to take medication if I don't have to. Again, there's no saying I am going to have this whatsoever after I give birth. I am just trying to get ahead, do my homework, do my research, because a lot of these doctors have like a 3-month waiting list. So I'm just trying to get on the ball now with it. And some women would disagree with me. Some women would want to go on medication right away. There's nothing against that. I know for myself, I don't like to take medication. I don't even take Tylenol if I have a headache or anything like that. I would rather just write it out and let it be, and not put stuff into my body that is just masking the pain. And especially breastfeeding, I don't know what negative effect will have on my breast milk. I feel like I'm really rambling on during this video, but there was a lot I had to catch you guys up on. I didn't want this video to be super long, even though I'm going on 20 minutes right now. But yes, that is it, you guys. I really didn't mean to get so heavy with the postpartum depression and postpartum anxiety, postpartum rage section towards the end of the video. I do apologize, but that's just what I'm going through right now, and what I'm becoming more aware of. Because if you aren't aware of it, and you don't know, you know something is wrong with you, but you don't know what, you need to address it. You need to do your very best to figure out what is going on. You need to lean onto your partner, and you guys need to figure it out together. You need to seek outside help, because how can you be the best mom and the best wife to your family if inside you are slowly dying? You can't pour from an empty vessel. So yes, that is it, you guys. I hope you enjoyed. Again, I'm sorry it got so heavy towards the very end. I will see you guys next time. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you later. Bye.